In this demonstration, we're going to take a look at the menu that's available in table view mode. So you can see I have the delinquent parcels attribute table open at this point. I don't have any selected records. I don't really need them in this case. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this menu that's available in table view. And if you click on the menu, it will display a list of kind of like miscellaneous operators or operations that you can perform while in table view mode. And you can see some of the things are defaulted here. So we're defaulting to show any field aliases, to showing domain and subtype descriptions. You can click these to turn them off if you need to do that. There is an option here for going into fields view mode. And what that will do is it'll take us into a view that shows all the different fields that are available on this delinquent parcels layer. So if I click on this, that brings up fields view mode. And so what you're seeing here is simply a list of all the fields that are attached to the delinquent parcel layer. It will give you an indicator whether or not they're currently visible or not, the field names, aliases, data types, and some additional information. All that's available in what we call fields view mode. So going back to the menu item, some of the other things you can do here, you can initiate joins and relates if you need to do that. You can select related records. You can do find and replaces. Go to specific row numbers. Find and replace, the way that works is the easiest way to do this is going to default to a specific column. You'll notice it says find in object ID. You can change that simply by clicking on the column name. You can see how that changed that to PY owner name. And so that that is going to be the default for where you're doing the find and replace. And so if I do a find type operation here, we'll just do Amos. I already know this record exists, so I'm going to do a search for that. So once you type in a record, and you've got different options here. If you click the drop down arrow, you'll see that the default is to match any part, but you could change that to match the whole field, to match the start of the field, to do match if cases. So you have a lot of different options here. But if you click on the find button, you'll notice that it found some records here, 2 records in this case for Amos Cannon. And then you could do a replace here as well. Right, so maybe there was a misspelling here and it should have been Cannon instead of 1 N instead of 2 N's. You can type in you can type in your replacement, and then you can do one of 2 things. There's 2 buttons here: replace next match, and then replace all matches. You'll also notice under the find operations here, you also have the ability to clear the results, and then you can also cycle through the records that were found. So you notice how I'm kind of cycling through that. You can select all rows that contain a match. So in that case, you're actually creating a selection set from the rows that match. So several different operations here that you can perform with the find, and then of course with the replace, you can do a replace all, and you'll notice that it's going to replace the 2 N's with 1 N. Of course, you can always go back. You have your undo operations here that allows you to undo, and of course you could redo if you need to do redo as well. But these undo, redo buttons on the quick access toolbar can be used to undo and redo your operations. All right, so I'll go ahead and close the find and replace function now. Keep in mind you can also go to specific row numbers. So for example, if I want to go to row 200, I can type in row 200 and it'll take me directly to that particular row. And then your other option here is to export. And so what this will do is allow you to export your current table to a new table. So for example, you might want to export out your table to a CSV file that you could then use in your spreadsheet software. So just this is just kind of an overview of some of the things you can do with the menu items. It's kind of a miscellaneous set of operations that you can perform while you're in table view mode. These are operations that don't necessarily fit into some of the other categories of functions that are provided with the table view. All right, that's it for now. Thank you for joining me.